What up? What up, MOYAK? We got a little, I guess you call it like internal podcast because we don't have any, I should say special guest, but Josh, you are special in our hearts. So,
He is
uh,
special.
yeah, but we got
I've been
Trey, we
told
got
that.
Josh here. We're going to talk a little bit about Stockton. We're going to talk a lot about 2026. As you guys, if you guys haven't noticed, Josh has already got the schedule for that on the books. It's not permanent, it's not set in stone, but he's got a pretty good idea of what's going on. So who knows what happens with changes and whatnot. But I'm excited.
I
Trey.
like yeah, I want to talk. I want to say something about that because I feel like I wish other clubs would do that, but I kind of don't because Josh does kind of set the bar for that. And it's kind of like Moyak puts it out there, kind of first. But man, that just makes next year so much easier because for a lot of us that have a lot of things that we have to do or plan out, having that schedule like that, having that schedule summer, it just makes everything it makes planning a lot easier. It makes availability easier. Um, man, it takes a lot of stress off me personally, already having that outlook. So
Yeah, I've had several people reach out to me and ask about that because some jobs, you almost need a year in advance to request off for vacation time and stuff like that. So I made a point to start working on it a little earlier this year, and I got all the permits submitted and got them approved. And it was kind of hard to wait to announce everything after I had already got it done, but I still wanted to make sure all the permits were set and I had our venues locked in. So uh, even to what Dominguez was saying earlier, it's not going to change. That schedule's locked. It would be something really strange that would have to come along to change it. So I don't see any changes whatsoever happening in that schedule. So it's pretty nice to have it done this early too for me. It's kind of a load off my shoulders, less work I've got to do too. So I'm
so
glad it's all worked out.
when you're sitting back and it's maybe an evening that you're like, you know what, I'm going to put this schedule out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to start working on it. Is this something that you work on pretty much throughout the year prior, or like, what motivates you to put certain things on different lakes, and how do you go by doing it? What does that evening look like for Josh Booth?
Well, if you look behind me on the wall here, I've got a big calendar right there, and I've got another one over there. That's for each year, and I make notes the year ahead of time. Maybe there's for example, one of the notes that I've got on my calendar was that Mark Twain fished really good in April this year for some bass boat tournaments and put up some big numbers. So I had that written down. So, I'm always looking at putting anglers at the best possible places at the best possible times, but at the same time, changing it up every year to where it's a little different. It's not the same thing. So I do it old school. I don't have a spreadsheet. I write everything down. I got different colored markers and a giant whiteboard, and I just make notes and make changes. And I've got to account for like the Big Bass 250, the Big Bass Bash, Bassmaster events. I've got all those listed. Holidays. Even this year, I went into the moon cycles and really delved into that. I tried to schedule a lot of tournaments out the new moon to hopefully make it a little different than the full moon that we were on last year. So see if that makes the fishing a little bit different. So just little things like that I just been tweaking for the last few years, and I just keep making notes and adjustments, and it's actually kind of easy now. I've kind of got a good rhythm and pattern down. So
Well,
That's
the nice
great.
part too is you've been in the game for so long too that for you to reach out to like Steve Owens with Bass and now I think the other one's Drew Gregory with Kayak Adventure Series and to say hey I'm making my schedule, where are you guys at, and those guys are planning. I mean they probably have their schedule almost locked in, I would assume too,
Yep.
knowing where they want to go and when they want to go there and all that. So it's kind of nice that you're tapped in with those guys as well and say, hey, this is, I can get your schedule, I can make my schedule and then go. Sometimes that stuff doesn't affect us, if it's a super far like East Coast or West Coast event, that it doesn't affect us. But if it's going to be in our backyard, at least we got a kind of a heads up on there. So it's kind of nice being able to communicate with them and figure that out too.
Yeah, they both those guys have also worked with me on the All American Classic for next year too. So there'll be no schedule conflicts with the Classic. So it should be open for anybody in the country to be able to come to that one. So I think that'll be the first year we've had no conflicts with the other series. Excuse me.
Hey, I just want to take a moment real quick. Typically, we bring on past winners. We just had Truman, which was a good event. I just want to say congrats for sure to our top three. So O'Shea Armstrong, Chad Davison, and Jason Shiflett, all three of those guys finished top three. Typically, we bring them on, talk to them, kind of get a recap, and it's kind of redundant because we do the live on the events or the awards, so you kind of know what those guys are in. But just want to say congrats to those guys for finishing so well. Jason Shiflett's he's having a really great year. I want to say he's sitting like 4th or 5th in AOY. He's having a solid year. So yeah, Chad's I think he's still in that top 10. Let me pull this up and look at that real quick. It looks like Richie McMichael, Robert Swearingen, and Micah Funderburg, Troy Inkley, and then Jason Shiflett. Those are our top 5. So AOY points are coming into play. Guys are probably figuring out, hey, do I need to go to Stockton? Do I need to go to Bull Shoals? Do I need to go to Mark Twain? So a lot of that stuff is coming into play because we still have one. You can drop 2 events out of the 5. So depending on where you're sitting, all this, after this event, it's really going to shake up.
Yeah, and also as the numbers start to go down a little bit in our tournaments, that's going to affect the points that you can earn in each event too, since we're on that point system that's tiered based off of the amount of entries. So someone that got a 3rd place, at Lake of the Ozarks may earn a little bit more points than someone who's going to get 3rd place at Stockton, just depending on how many people sign up. But it's looking like it's going to be a lower number so far, which usually happens every year in the summer and the fall, early for some reason.
It has been pretty impressive because, typically Table Rock's like our strongest event, but like Truman, I think we had more at Truman than we had at Table Rock. It's been pretty interesting to see those numbers because I think we're probably averaging anywhere from 7 to 8. I don't know that for sure, but it seems like that's right around where we've been for every event, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think a lot of our guys too from Truman, I think coming from the All American, they had something to prove to get back out there on Truman and be like, look, this lake is not going to kick my ass again. So it was kind of a grudge fish.
Weather and water conditions have been a little bit of a factor this spring too. It's kind of messed some things up as we got started. So it's starting to level out a little bit now, stabilize, I should say.
I think it's been like 2 or 3 years since we've had water levels like this though. It's been, quite a while since we've had. Yeah, like 2 or 3 years ago, I remember Table Rock was like 20, 30 foot up. Like it was nuts when we were there. Like I remember fishing like trees that I could like look up from the bank. So it's just crazy. It's wild to think about how much is actually moving through those. Tying knots with Trey. Here we go.
I'm done.
This has been brought to you by. Trey's probably got 12 rods still to rig up between now and Friday.
I'm actually done, man. I'm not overthinking this one, guys. I'm not.
Yeah, right.
I'm really not this time. I'm really not. I'm just gonna go and just, I got surgery next week. My first pre-op for my, to go down and look at my heart, and then a couple weeks after that, they got to go in through my wrist and see if I got any blockages. And then they'll be kind of scheduling that surgery for November. So I am just trying to just kind of be where my feet are and just kind of, kind of inspired. Honestly, Josh, you kind of inspired me a little bit. And, there have been a few guys that this has happened. When we were camping at Table Rock, and I was just stressed out. I didn't know where I wanted to go. You know, I pre-fished with a buddy the day before, and I was kind of wanting to go there, but I had another spot, and then I see you, bro, just kind of, you know, rigging your stuff. You rigged up like 4 rods. I think I want to say like they all had buzz baits on them. You're like had a Ziploc baggie, and bro, and you were not very, you know, I mean, and I know where you fished, and you know, it's just and you go out and put up 80 inches by, you know, 9 o'clock, if not sooner, and it's just you could put all
It,
the shit in the world in it, man, but at the end of the day, it's just fishing, dude. And you know what? I'm not gonna look back, you know, when I'm 60, 70, 80 years old and remember winning a tournament at Stockton. We talk about that 15 seconds, and that 15 seconds compared to like, okay, I say I win Stockton, okay, I get first place. So yeah, I get up there. Josh says my name. I get to make a cool Facebook post. It's like, yeah, hell yeah. You know, I bet you I bet you one thing. When I'm 70, 80 years old, I'm not, and even 3 days after that, I'm not going to remember that, but it could be that conversation that I have at the ramp. It could be some really cool animal that I see. It could be something that happens totally outside of just catching that fish and getting first place and winning a little bit of money. That's not going to be the important part, at least for me. And I know it's not going to be. So I need to remember that in the moment, and just, again, just try to be where my feet are.
that's true. It's we're just fishing in little plastic boats. I mean, it's real easy to overthink it and get swept away with everything that's going on. But I mean, as for myself, I started out in just a little bitty 10-foot kayak and one rod floating the creeks and rivers around here catching smallies. You know, most of these lakes I hadn't even fished before kayak tournament started, and that was kind of the fun part for me, was getting to go fish new water for the first time and explore new areas. But you don't really need to go 10 rods and, you know, all this stuff. I mean, there's 2 or 3 techniques are probably going to catch a fish. And if you're good at one of them, just stick with it. And I've kind of come full circle. I had all that gear too. Now just, I'm happy with 2 rods and a couple boxes and I'll go. I'm more worried about what kind of snacks do I have in my cooler and what kind of drinks do I got, because I want to stay hydrated while I'm out there having fun and looking for nature and seeing the cool scenery and the animals, like you mentioned, Trey. There's all kinds of different things that go into a kayak tournament, and not just catching a big bass to win money.
Yeah.
Speaking of
It
big
goes.
bass, John, I'll do this real quick, then I'll
Go ahead.
get to you. So, speaking of big bass, everybody knows, and everybody's favorite, a way to win some money, the Big Bass 250, October 25th. And one thing that I always look forward to, and a thing that Jonathan just pours his heart into, and everybody there at Eco does. So for this weekend, we're going to kind of celebrate that a little bit early. And instead of doing a trivia question for the JDM, dude, it's a really nice grass piece. It's their limited color run. It's called Shad Spawn Spunk. I believe it's a 3/4. It's a heavy one. It gets down there. And so whoever submits the first 10 1/4, so 10.25, nothing less, nothing over. So the first person to submit a legit 10 1/4 will win that bass piece, that grass piece by Bass Puzzle. So
Awesome.
It'll be good. Little side winner. Uh, I like it. I dig it. Let's I've got the schedule here. Let's pull this up, and Josh, you can kind of walk us through kind of what you were thinking when we went through this, or when you went through this kind of deal. Let me see if I can pull this up. I can't pull it up where it's side by side. I'll figure that out. But go ahead and walk
Okay.
us through the schedule real quick.
Yeah, we're going to start out the year on Lake of the Ozarks as usual. You know, that's one of the lakes that gets a lot of boat traffic during the summer months. So, you know, fishing there during, you know, Labor Day, Memorial Day times, that's pretty much impossible. So Lake of the Ozarks is pretty much always going to be either probably first or last, just because of the boat traffic situation we got to deal with. So that should be a good one, though. Late March, there should be some big spots. LOZ can really show out at that time of the year. And then we move on to Mark Twain in the spring. We're going to go ahead and probably we're going to give it one more run next year, and probably if it goes well, it's probably going to become a new permanent lake on the schedule. That could be the missing seventh lake that we've been looking for. We've got some growing number of anglers in that St. Louis area and in the northeastern Missouri. So that's kind of been holding us back in the past. Was we just didn't have a lot of people that lived in that area. It was a really long drive for a lot of people, but now we're kind of getting more into a true statewide series. Table Rock, the Ellie Bowman Memorial, that's going to be in May every year from now on, sponsored by Performance Food Service. So that's going to be a staple. We all know how that's going to be. Then we're going to go to Stockton in June, and that should be, my thinking with Stockton usually runs. You don't really want to be there in the springtime because of the wind factor. Stockton is crazy when the wind's blowing. So you kind of want stable weather, but it can get really super hot in the summertime too. So it's kind of a fine line between balancing. We're getting ready to go to the Stockton this weekend. So next year we're going to move it up to June. And I think it'll really fish well in June as well. And so Truman will be in July next year. Well, that's going to be a hot one. July and August, it's always going to be hot and miserable no matter where we go. So hopefully we just got some shade. Bull Shoals, again, when it comes to making a schedule, I have to factor in Bull Shoals is usually flooded for half the year. Usually it gets flooded out really bad every spring in order to, they try to keep Table Rock nice and pretty. So Bull Shoals usually pays the price for that. So again, later in the year, a little more stable conditions, and then wrap up the season on Palm de Terre. And then our rotating championship is going to be on Lake of the Ozarks this year. And, that's going to be just right before the Big Bass 250. So that'll give some guys a chance to get a little practice fishing in. And we're going to keep the same format as this year. The top 50 in AOI and the Elite Series are going to qualify for that championship with just a minimum entry fee of $6 or $7, whatever it was. I don't remember, but we're taking out and we're going to keep deducting money from each tournament to build that pot up to make that championship really good. And I'm working on maybe getting some more sponsors for the next year, and we'll really jack up that championship and make it something special. The others two that are kind of not really part of the regular season, we've got the Taney 20. That usually is the first event of the year. But last couple of years has been rough. Only one or two people are done well, but it's been kind of stingy. So moving it towards the end of April and the early May, that's kind of when you're getting into, some of their, they spawn a lot in that lake, but that's a good one. Hopefully that later in April will be a better time to fish on Taney Como. And then again, the first weekend of May, the All-American Classic, we've got the Benson Center reserved. I've got the permit locked in. They're already working hard on it at Everhart's Outdoors to get that thing going. So that's up and running. So, we're all running full steam halfway through 2025, and we're already working hard on 2026. So hopefully that just streamlines and makes everything run better and smoother for everybody next year.
Yeah, I do like Truman and Bull Shoals later in the year. We might get a normal pull Truman if we cross our fingers hard enough, But yeah, Bull Shoals is typically, I think even last year, halfway through the year, the water was still, up. It was, wasn't fishing as well, but that's good. I'm excited about that. It looks like a great schedule.
Bull Shoals is a pretty underrated lake. That's a really good lake to fish that doesn't get a lot of publicity. Kind of like the little redheaded stepchild of Table Rock. It just gets abused and nobody ever pays it any attention.
I'm hoping for Bull Shoals you find a different location for the check-in. That way maybe I can go a little further east, That's, hopes. But totally get it. Understand what, it's tough finding stuff out there, places to do that. Maybe we can find if anybody in that area knows somebody that has a venue that's, willing to put us up, that, has Wi-Fi would be ideal and all that. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's always a deal with Bull Shoals. Back in the day, it used to be just Missouri waters only. And so it really wasn't that big of a deal to keep everybody kind of centrally located. But since I opened it up to all of Arkansas and then staying in Missouri and going and then Arkansas, it's kind of a balancing act. And then there's not many places really, like you mentioned, that have good service or Wi-Fi. So yeah, that's one we can definitely work on. If anybody has any ideas on some great venues for Bull Shoals, hit me up. I'm always open for ideas. Same
The Ellie
same goes
Bowman.
for Mark Twain.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, we can find some. I'm sure there's some guys out there, man. So the Ellie Bowman one. It was kind of thrown together, this year. But I'm excited about that one. It almost makes me wish that we do like we do all that food and stuff on Friday night, and be able to enjoy that maybe a little bit more, have more guys there. Just that's one that if you're planning on fishing that one, plan on going to the awards. Make time to get to there because I mean, Patrick, that food was amazing. Like everyone left full. There was leftovers. It was so good. He was literally out there, a couple hours before our awards, cooking away. That one's exciting. It'll be cool to see if we can get some more, ID card stickers out to guys as well, and then really, really blow that one out of the water and show honor to Ellie and her family.
I'll have those Ellie Bowman stickers and identifier cards at each of the events for the rest of the year. So if anybody out there doesn't have one, just come see me at the awards and I'll get that to you. But yeah, I mean, it would be awesome if we could have like a big centrally located area, like a campground or something with cabins and stuff where you could all stay together. And, that might be something we can look forward to in the future. But, still $100 an hour big bass pot's pretty sweet too. That's like national trail stuff right there.
And speaking of food, don't forget to, regardless of how you place this weekend, show up to awards because I believe we have the
Roaming
carnivore,
carnivore, the
yeah,
roaming carnivore.
roaming
Yeah,
carnivore food truck, which is going to be really cool. So that
we're
guy,
also he's going to be there with the food, and we're also going to be implementing some of the new things that we're going to be starting or be using next year too, like extra ways to win, like the smallest limit. Whoever has the smallest 5 fish score, they're going to win something. Working on that, but it's going to be something cool. The person who drives the longest to the lake. This is also one of those things where you're going to have to be present at the awards to win. So, if you think you've gone the longest drive, just come hit me up and let me know, and then you'll get the prize. Also, as well, with the random placement award, that's going to be something I'm going to announce in the captain's meeting. I'm just going to do a random draw. It's going to be a number between probably like 8 or 10 because we don't want the winners to get drawn. So it'd be like 10th place to 80th place or something like that. We'll do a random draw of a number. That number, whatever it is, say if it's 42, that number 42 will be announced in the captain's meeting. And then whoever ends up finishing the tournament in 42nd place is going to win $75. So that's going to be some extra money you can win. We're also going to add to the raffle a little bit to where we're going to give away an entry fee into that championship. I said the top 50 qualify for that championship at the end of the year. Well, we're going to build on that a little bit. So one person from each event is going to have a chance to earn that championship spot. You don't have to be a member, but you do got to be present at the awards. So that'll be something cool too. So
What would be kind of cool is maybe pick the person that gets that $75. Maybe just pick middle of the pack. You know what I mean? That would be kind of, I don't know, and then all based on numbers rather than having a random draw and announce that like just mid pack.
That would make it a lot easier. Just do middle, whoever's right in the middle.
If there's 50 guys, number 25, or pick number 26, or flip a coin for it, and go from there. That would be kind of cool. But just little incentives like that is really cool, Josh, because you're no longer fighting, just for 5 fish, and top 10%. You're fighting for some other stuff too. So that's exciting, man.
Yeah, just trying to come up with better ways to make it more fun. And also, again, if anybody else has ideas like what you just suggested, that's a great idea. I kind of like that better than my idea, but I'm open to ideas. Let me know. We'll try to implement them into the tournaments.
I like it. Trey, which event do you think you're going to like the best?
Man, I love Lake of the Ozarks in March. I just feel like there's a ton of potential there. I love that lake. Grew up on that lake. I've had to just pick one. I'd say LOZ. It's that first event, so everybody's kind of hungry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Winners kind of been there. It's always got a good turnout. It just hits different, bro.
You think we'll have smallmouth in the big bag again?
Well, I mean, if he goes there, he gonna probably have a couple people go with him this time.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. Having smallmouth in his 5 fish limit on Lake of the Ozarks. Who'd have thunk it?
Had to be a local.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's always fun to look forward to next year. Check it out, see what's going on. Josh, what do you think this weekend? What's it going to take to win? How many inches?
Hmm. We should make that like a prize too. Like I get to guess, and whoever gets it make win $100 or something bonus if you can get it right on the money. I don't know. My guess would be it's going to be a really quick early morning bite flurry. Maybe it's going to be hot in the afternoon, so I think it'll take at least 88 inches to win it.
We haven't busted 90
88.
yet this year, have we?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think we have.
That would be something if we haven't. But like I said, it's been a weird year this year so far too. We haven't really had any kind of a perfect condition event. But I mean, when do we ever?
So, Josh, you're saying 88?
88, 88 to win, and 80 to cash a check. But I'm optimistic too. I always think it's going to be awesome.
Man, I'm trying to think. Like, have we had an event over 90 inches? Is that kind of
No.
so? Jared had 89 and a quarter at Table Rock. That's
That was
that's
close.
lead. That's leading it right now. But nothing over 90 inches. That is wild.
That is.
Okay. So think about this too. I was just looking at Palmy was 78 inches, but Palmy was miserable. Lake of the Ozarks was miserable as well, and that was 84 inches. So yeah, maybe it's time we need to break 90 inches. I'm gonna say 90 and a quarter. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say somebody hits 90 and a quarter this weekend.
The Dream Crusher, boy, he's on. I was talking to him this last weekend. He's got a grudge. He's trying to climb his way back in there. You better watch out for that dude. I think he's down there right now.
I believe it.
There's a lot of good anglers this year that are having good performances, even though it's been tough so far. Micah's coming on strong. Shiflet and
Jeez.
Well, Spencer O'Neill, I think it's his only second year. Him and Micah, they're sitting really good on the team side. Really,
Yeah.
really good. So need some teams to come blow them out of the water.
I don't know that Micah's ever had just subpar, mediocre event. Like he is always like right there between like 78 and 86. Like every time he's putting
consistent.
Josh, the other thing too is you're adding some. We don't have to go into this right now, but maybe we'll bring this come on and do a different show or whatnot. But excited about the stuff you're adding to the Yak Pot as far as opening that up to a list of lakes that people can submit and fish. I think that'll be good for those guys that, Mason's, he's in Lake of the Ozarks. It's in his backyard. It's easy for him. Where some of these guys, have, issues getting into some of these lakes that want to fish. But it'll be cool and interesting to see how many of these lakes get submitted and whatnot. Is it one of those things like I'm going to go submit my little conservation lake, my honey hole, or am I going to, not post that and see if somebody else does,
Yeah.
Definitely going to be some
A lot of
strategy.
people are going to do that because I got some lakes. I'm like, yeah, I'm just not going to do it. I'm just going to stay back and hopefully maybe somebody else will do it. Then I just don't feel so guilty.
Josh is going to get all these messages. Hey, which lakes did Chad submit?
See that's what I was getting ready to mention. That right there is key because we will have a lake list and all those lakes will be on there. And I'll get into that a little bit, how we're going to do that. But it's not going to say who submitted those lakes. So, you're going to see a list, but you don't know a person can publicly submit a lake to me, on a post or a thread and everybody can see it. But if you don't want somebody to know about you're submitting that lake, send it to me privately. I'll add that lake to the list and nobody will know who submitted it. So there is a little bit of a strategy involved in that. Yeah. And also it's going to allow people to rule out this guy's fishing in a pond or this guy's fishing on a golf course, because there's going to be a list and you'll be able to see where every single person's fishing, and every single person is going to have equal opportunity to go fish that spot if they so choose. So I think it's going to work out pretty well.
So it's going to actually say, like, so if I enter a Wednesday night, I do well, it's going to say what lake I was actually at fishing.
No one will know where you were at.
Oh, okay.
Unless you want them to know. I mean, you could tell them, but no. Basically, this is kind of a hybrid between the way we do the onlines and the way we did the yak pots this year. This year, the yak pots were only on lakes that were on the schedule. That was designed to keep people from. There's always people that are concerned about somebody's got a secret little pond honey hole that's not fair, that they can go there and catch 100 inches and they don't, and all that stuff. So that was the reasoning behind only working on the yak pots on the schedule. But then now we've got guys that can't travel that far. A lot of people may be 3 or 4 hours from one of those lakes on the schedule. So it's not real convenient for them just to go after work and fish for a few hours. So we're not going to go completely crazy like the onlines and just open it up to any public water in Missouri, because then that's basically just another online tournament. We've already got that. But if we make a list, not only is it going to make it fair to where everybody's going to know where everybody else is fishing, some people may not even know about some of these lakes, and it may give them some ideas of places to go. Also, it's going to rule out anybody being shady about fishing in some weird places, So there really is no criteria for what lake can be on that list. If it's public, has a public access, and you want to fish it, just let me know, and it's going on the list. You want to wait until somebody else adds it, that's fine too. But like I said, there's not going to be any names beside the lakes. So it's just going to be a list of bodies of water that'll be eligible. Similar to way Bassmaster did their launch list a few years ago when they first started that. Steve Owens went through each lake and found every public ramp and then marked it on the map and then put it out there. And if anglers in the tournament found another public access that was not on the map, they messaged Steve and told him about it. He checked it out, confirmed it, and then added it to the map. So this is going to be the same concept. We're going to have a list of lakes. And then if you want something added to it, then you just send me a message and it'll be added to it.
Hey, you and your boys better be really close, because one of them's going to be like, bro, did you put it on the list? And they're going to be like, no. He said, did you put it on the list? Be like, no. And then it's going to start some beef between them. I already can see this shit.
Joke's on you guys, because I'm going to submit all these little conservation lakes, and then they're all going to be on the list. I'm just going to go on the MDC, just start sending Josh links, and then it's going to cause all sorts of chaos, and it's going to be funny. I got a question here for you, Josh. Is it going to stay a 4-fish limit, or are you going to change it to 5?
For the yak pots, it's going to stay 4 because it's a shorter tournament. It's only like 6 hours. So I don't see any reason to change it.
What is it? Is it 6 to midnight? Is that what it is?
6:30 to midnight.
Dude, just open it up till 4 a.m., man. Just let them ride. Shut down the leaderboard at like 10 o'clock and just let them sweat it out. You'll have these guys in the summertime out there till 4 o'clock in the morning to go home, take a nap, and go back to work, and just sweating it till the next day at 5 o'clock when you announce the
I do think it's really cool that you're not allowing how you're not allowing Tanny Como to be on that list. That's still really cool.
Well, the list hasn't been created yet, so technically you are correct.
As long as nobody submits Tanny Como, it's not on the list, but I'm sure it'll be on there.
It's going to be on there.
That's funny. Well, it feels like forever. We had a long break before Truman, but it feels like even longer since we've had a tournament. So, I'm excited about this weekend. I can't wait to see all the guys. I know it's been a really cool week with ICAST going on and seeing all these new products and whatnot and get excited about. But I'm excited about Derby this weekend, man. I'm not going to get to pre-fish, so I'll kind of feel kind of weird, but I'm excited, man.
Yeah, not a lot of tournaments going out. We've got a solo pro going out on Sunday. Will be some practicing going on, but other than that, the wind doesn't look like it's going to be super bad of a factor. And there shouldn't be, just there's not a ton of tournaments that Saturday. So,
yeah, that is one thing. And Josh, you can speak to that. But Stockton with the south or north wind, it gets dicey out there, guys. So just kind of, if something changes, check the forecast before you launch. Check it the night before. But that's one of those things that you really, really want to watch on Stockton.
Yep, that's definitely a factor, but I think it's going to be pretty nice and easy on Saturday. Should be just hot and sunny.
I know you haven't put it on the Tourney X, but where's check-in at? I know you told me before we got on here.
The awards are going to be at the bait shop. We've been there for the last several years there on Highway 39. Really grateful for them hosting us again. We've got the air conditioning inside so we can get in out of the heat and have a seat and relax and eat some of the food from the roaming carnivore and start the awards off and give away some stuff.
Let me go over this real quick. Launch times. Launch is at 5 a.m. First cast is at 5:30. Lines out are at 2:30. Photo submission 3:30, and then we're supposed to start the awards about 4 o'clock, guys. So just can kind of be mindful. I know Stockton's not as big. So you only have about an hour before lines out to get to service and whatnot. So just kind of be mindful of that. And of course, Josh on Friday he'll do a live stream and get all the information out to you guys. Trey, you got anything else before we get out of here?
I'm good, man.
How big of a fish do I need on Saturday? A 10 and a quarter?
10 and a quarter.
10 and a quarter. Josh, man, what else you got for us, man?
That's about it. Yak pot's going on right now, so I'm going to jump on and start doing some judging for that one, and then get ready for Saturday at Stockton. And then the weekend after that, the All-American's going to be on Grand Lake, so that's right in our backyard too. If anybody here from wants to get in on that, we need to get some guys signed up for that event so it doesn't get canceled. So we're really lucky to have this event on Grand. I don't understand why the numbers aren't really that good because it's an awesome fishery and they don't allow kayak tournaments that often. It's hard to get a permit. I had to jump through a lot of hoops to get this permit. So we don't have to stick close to the shoreline, like the regular recreational kayak rules. We have safety equipment and flags and PFDs and all that stuff. So they told us that we didn't have to really worry about that. Although you don't really want to cross Grand Lake in the middle, it can be pretty freaking wide. So, but if that's an issue, don't worry about that. We got the lake to ourselves. It should be an awesome tournament too. So, go fish Grand Lake. It's in our backyard, and probably won't get another opportunity to fish there for a while. So, hope to see some guys.
Yeah, that should be a good event too. Everything I've heard is summertime Grand Lake is throwing a big worm and fishing out there, so it should be a pretty good bite too. Well, guys, appreciate you guys jumping on here. Appreciate you joining us as well. Can't wait till Saturday. See reign a new MOYAK champion. Should be a good event. And excited about 2026, man. I'm glad we did a little preview halfway through the year.
Yeah, one thing I want to mention before we get off here too, we're going to do the best damn tackle box drawing at Stockton as well. So I usually forget about that, but I remembered this time. So if you don't know what that is, I'm going to have a box set up at the awards, and you can bring a fishing lure that's new, unopened of any kind, a bag of plastics, a crankbait, whatever, just a new lure, and put it in the box, and you'll get a raffle ticket. And then everybody is going to throw their stuff in there, and then we're going to raffle off that entire box. So one person will get to take home all that tackle.
Reminder, it new and unopened, because I remember I won it 1 year, and all them soft plastics that I had 7 out of 8 of them, and I was like, what the heck? Come on, guys. bring some new stuff. Get your chance to win some new stuff as well. It'll be a good time. Trey, you don't have to dig into that JDM stuff. You can just do the cheap stuff, man.
I'm just wondering why you counted them.
Dude, when you open up and it's a clamshell and there's one missing, you obviously know.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I get that part.
Yeah.
I'm not digging. I'm trying to get rid of tackle. I don't need any more tackle, but I'm going to bring one in and put it in there anyways. And then if I win it, we'll re-raffle it off.
Yeah, if you forget about it, don't worry about that either, because you'll have a last chance effort if you still want to get in on it. The tackle shop, they're right there at the bait shop. They've got a tackle store inside there, so you can go in there and grab something if you happen to forget to bring a lure to donate to that. So, yep, we'll be doing the tackle box drawing on Saturday as well.
Josh, you have a really cool shirt collection.
I bet you have a whole button-up section.
I try to find the ugliest Hawaiian shirts I can find, and that's kind of my thing. That's my style. So, thank you for noticing.
We need to get you one with a bunch of MOYAK logos on it, just sporadically.
I have one. I wore it.
Yeah.
I wore it at the Classic, and no one even noticed. It had the MOYAK logo all over my Hawaiian shirt, and no one even saw it.
Wear it Saturday. I'll give you a compliment.
I'll wear it. All right, thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Appreciate it, Trey, Josh. Appreciate you guys being on here, guys. Can't wait to see you guys on Saturday. Stockton, get signed up. We only got 25 guys signed up, so get signed up, and we'll see you on Stockton this weekend.
Adios.